Hello, welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm back with some more updates coming out from the Middle East, and I've got some information in regards to Israel and also Hezbollah in Lebanon. And we're also going to be talking about Iran a little bit in this video as well. But we're going to start off talking about Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon, as we have this story just coming out today that the U.S. right now is working on a temporary ceasefire in Lebanon and calling for a 60-day truce. So we heard about this probably about 24 hours ago, that Israel and their cabinet were deciding that they wanted to call for a ceasefire inside of Lebanon. So it looks like this could be coming very soon. And it's definitely interesting, the timing, because I'm going to show you guys a report. And we've seen multiples of these, that Hezbollah has been coming out and saying that they've been destroying lots of Israeli military vehicles on the border of Lebanon. Lots of tanks have been destroyed, apparently. I think I've heard upwards of 30, maybe 40, coming from the Hezbollah side, saying that they've destroyed. So I believe Israel's been taking massive losses, as we have been hearing official reports coming out from the Israelis that there have been dozens already of Israeli troops that have been killed inside of southern Lebanon. So I'm thinking that maybe their operations are not going very well. And we heard just months back, before this operation was even launched into southern Lebanon, was that Israel was coming out and saying they would eventually invade southern Lebanon and push Hezbollah back beyond the Litani River. And we haven't really been seeing that. The most we've really seen is just small, limited operations on the border of Israel and Lebanon. Okay, so very interesting. We'll talk more about that today. Then I also have some reports of the Israelis striking a fuel depot in the Bekaa Valley. This is in northeastern Lebanon, and apparently we're targeting this to cut off fuel supplies for Hezbollah, as they use this fuel to put in their military vehicles that transport equipment from Syria over onto Lebanon, which is where they get a lot of their supplies, obviously through Syria, coming from Iran, like their weapons. Okay. So also tonight we had some attacks inside Israel that we're going to be discussing. I believe we had some drones coming from Lebanon as well, and then just numerous other things I want to share with you. So we're going to start off here with this report on Reuters just for a moment. We're not going to go over the whole thing, just a couple paragraphs here. U.S. working on Lebanon truce, sources say, as Israel bombards Baalbek. This just coming out today, October 30th, 2024. And it says here, U.S. mediators are working on a proposal to halt hostilities between Israel and Lebanese armed group Hezbollah, starting with a 60-day ceasefire, two sources said on Wednesday. But Israel pressed its offensive, bombarding Lebanon's historic city of Baalbek after issuing a mass evacuation order. So that's the strikes on the fuel depot that we'll be talking about here in just a little bit, or fuel storage containers. The sources, a person briefed on the talks and a senior diplomat working on Lebanon, told Reuters that the 2-month period would be used to finalize full implementation of United Nations Security Council Resolution 1701, adopted in 2006 to keep southern Lebanon free of arms outside state control. So this is exactly what Israel's been complaining about, as their troops have entered into southern Lebanon. I've shown you guys video footage and lots of reports of the Israelis finding lots of weapons stored on the border of Lebanon and Israel. So obviously, we know that the Hezbollah group was preparing an operation to storm into the Upper Galilee region and take it over inside of Israel. And that's apparently also why the Israelis moved into southern Lebanon to begin with. And again, they've been finding lots of weapons. And according to this UN's United Nations Security Council Resolution 1701, there is not supposed to be any weapons from the Lebanon side, from Hezbollah, inside of southern Lebanon, okay? So there looks like they're going to try to re-implement that resolution. A U.S. official said White House officials Brett McGurk and Amos Hochstein will visit Israel on Thursday to engage on a range of issues, including Gaza, Lebanon, hostages, Iran, and broader regional matters. Hezbollah's new leader, Naim Qassem, said the Iran-backed group would agree to a ceasefire within certain parameters if Israel wanted to stop the war, but said Israel had so far not agreed to any proposal that could be discussed. So if you notice here, Hezbollah does have a new leader, Naim Qassem. I will show you guys a picture of that in just a moment. Israel's already coming out to kind of making jokes that he's not going to be around for very long because obviously Israel's been eliminating a lot of the leaders of Hezbollah, if not all of them, have already been eliminated, many top commanders as well. So that was a new report that came out just yesterday, was Naim Qassem taking over as Hezbollah's new Secretary General. Okay, so let's hop on over to X now and let me get this pulled up, and we will talk about some of these reports over here as well. Okay, so I want to show you guys this. This actually came out 5 days ago, but it's in regards to what we're talking about with the operations in southern Lebanon and why Israel could be potentially calling for a ceasefire. Many people are discussing this on X right now. It says from current report, breaking, Hezbollah announced it destroyed 5 Merkava tanks so far today, including its crew with an ATGM in Marwahin, Odessa, Mikav, and Markava. To date, Hezbollah claims to have destroyed 37 Merkava tanks since the beginning of the ground invasion. Okay, so this is one of probably hundreds of reports all over X that we've seen probably in the last 2 weeks, I want to say, of lots of losses on the Israeli side. So I don't know if this is exactly why Israel's trying to get some sort of ceasefire, is maybe they want to be able to pull out of southern Lebanon. Maybe they're realizing that their operation pushing in is not going very well, and maybe they don't want to risk losing more troops and more tanks and equipment. I'm not sure if maybe they're just getting their butts kicked over here or what's happening. Let me know what you think down below of why Israel could potentially be calling for a ceasefire in Lebanon, okay? Also, we had this report from Times of Israel Alerts. Live update report, Netanyahu, security officials agree it's time to seek ceasefire in Lebanon. Okay, so as we can see here, even from the Times of Israel, reporting that security officials have agreed to seek a ceasefire in Lebanon. So it looks like it could potentially be coming. We'll see if they agree to one or if Hezbollah even agrees. Okay, also from the Spectator Index, just in, Israel's defense minister says Hezbollah's rocket arsenal is down to 20% of its pre-war capability. Okay, this came out yesterday as well from the defense minister Yoav Gallant of Israel. He was stating that Hezbollah apparently only has 20% of the rockets that they previously had before this war began. Now, I don't know if it's anywhere down close to 20%, but we're still seeing attacks almost every single day inside of Israel, whether it's rockets or drones going into Israel. I think just yesterday there was something like 30 or 40 rockets that were fired. So I'm not sure if Hezbollah's rocket capabilities are degraded that much, but according to the Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, he's claiming that they only have 20% of, prior to the war beginning, okay? Also from Dr. Eli David, Hezbollah announced that Naim Qassem is appointed as its new leader, replacing the previous 3 eliminated leaders. Israel's defense minister Yoav Gallant just posted this. So this is a post that Dr. Eli David shared on X. This was originally from Yoav Gallant. It was just a little joke that he put out, said temporary appointment, not for long. But this is a picture of Naim Qassem. And Israel's already claiming that they're going to try to take him out very soon. And it would not surprise me if they do, because we have seen this over and over again. Is the Israelis destroying Hezbollah's top command repeatedly and very quickly as well. Okay, so that's a picture of him right there. Now we're going to move on to Times of Israel Alerts. Live update, Hezbollah official. We won't be deterred by Gallant's threat to new chief Qassem. Okay, so this was from Hezbollah directly, one of their officials stating that they're not worried about new targeting of Naim Qassem, as obviously Israel may try to target him and take him out soon. So don't be surprised if we see another major airstrike inside Beirut pretty soon, and then I come out telling you guys that he's been targeted, as we have definitely seen this a lot, okay? So now moving on, we're going to talk about these airstrikes being carried out in Lebanon just today from the Israel Defense Forces on X. Earlier today, the IAF, or Israeli Air Force, conducted intelligence-based strikes on fuel depots located inside military compounds belonging to Hezbollah's Logistical Reinforcement Unit 4400 in the Bekaa Valley. The unit is responsible for transferring weapons from Iran and its proxies to Hezbollah in Lebanon. These fuel depots supplied fuel for Hezbollah's military vehicles and were critical to the operation of Hezbollah's military infrastructure. The fuel at these sites was supplied by Iran as part of its military support for Hezbollah. Iran funds Hezbollah through the Quds Force of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps. transferring oil and money via various channels to Lebanon. The Hezbollah terrorist organization continues to stockpile large quantities of fuel used for its terrorist activities and attacks on Israel. So we can see why they targeted this fuel depot up in the Bekaa Valley. I believe it was in the city of Baalbek, or very close to it, to where it was targeted. So we actually have a video here to show you guys that just came out today from Ozen Defender following an evacuation order issued by the Israeli Defense Force this morning for the city of Baalbek in the Bekaa Valley of northeastern Lebanon. The Israeli Air Force launched a series of strikes against the city, targeting Hezbollah military sites and infrastructure. Lebanese media is reporting that a fuel storage site within the city was also targeted by Israeli aircraft. Now, I don't know for sure if this is the fuel storage site that was targeted, but we can definitely see a massive black plume of smoke here, which most likely is indicating burning fuel. So we'll go ahead and check this out real quick, 14 seconds long, and then we'll come back. Okay, so my best guess is this is the fuel storage site, or one of them. I'm not sure if there was more than one that was targeted, but for sure we know one of these fuel storage sites up in northeastern Lebanon in the city or near the city of Baalbek was attacked and destroyed. And again, these are fuel storage sites that are used by Hezbollah to fuel their vehicles and transport equipment coming from Iran over to Syria and then flowing into Lebanon. Okay, so that's exactly why they targeted this today and destroyed it. And then also we've got this report from Suppressed News. Breaking, drone sirens are still ringing after nearly 30 minutes, reaching El Yakim, the site of an IOF base. It says southeast of Haifa. So this is in northwestern Israel. Hebrew media reported that at least 5 drones sent by Hezbollah have been observed. Footage shows a failed interception by the Iron Dome. So you're going to see a drone coming in right in this area right here. It's very dark and kind of hard to see, but I believe this drone ends up crashing because you'll see kind of like a bright light down here after it blows up. So just 11 seconds long, take a look. Okay, so there was multiple videos coming out just like this today on X, showing many of the citizens capturing drones flying very low in many cases too, and striking targets inside of Israel. So as we can see, Israel is still coming under attack. Although Yoav Gallant says a lot of their capabilities have been destroyed, we are still seeing daily attacks, okay? I know I don't report this every single day when it comes to Israel because it just happens literally every day. It's so frequent. But there are lots of rockets and drones still flying into Israel almost every single day and coming from different directions. I think we just had a drone yesterday as well that came from Yemen. So they're just all over the place, okay? Lots of attacks in Israel every day. Now moving on to Globe News. Breaking, Iran's supreme leader issues orders for the military to prepare a response attack on Israel. So I tried to research this one online. I did not see any official reports coming out on mainstream news talking about this, but there is multiple, what I would consider pretty reliable sources on X talking about this, that Iran is preparing a response. Now, we were hearing some official reports recently that Iran was thinking about attacking back with upwards of 1,000 ballistic missiles or more. So I think it is very possible we could see Iran striking back against Israel soon. But we also have some reports to show you here in just a little bit that looks like Israel's going to be preparing a second response against Iran. So it looks like we're going to be seeing tit-for-tat exchanges here for quite some time. And it all depends on how big the response comes from Iran, because even the U.S. was warning Iran not to strike back or there'd be severe consequences, what the U.S. was saying recently. Also, from Bricks News, just in, Iran says their missile production was not disrupted by Israeli strikes. Thought this was interesting. Now, I don't know if Iran is just saying this to maybe cover up how bad the attacks were in their nation. Who really knows what's happening here? But we did have lots of reports coming out, maybe over the last 2 to 3 days, of some of the satellite imagery showing the successful strikes inside of Iran, destroying critical infrastructure for Iran's military, their missile production program as well. So that's what Iran was coming out saying today, that they were not disrupted at all. So let me know what you think. Do you think they're telling the truth, or do you think they're trying to cover up how bad the attack really was? Okay, moving on as well to Megatron Ron, just in. Donald Trump says, I will stop the suffering and destruction in Lebanon. During my administration, we had peace in the Middle East, and we will have peace again very soon. I will fix the problems caused by Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and stop the suffering and destruction in Lebanon. I want to see the Middle East return to real peace, a lasting peace, and we will get it done properly so it doesn't repeat itself every 5 or 10 years. I will preserve the equal partnership among all Lebanese communities. Your friends and family in Lebanon deserve to live in peace, prosperity, and harmony with their neighbors, and that can only happen with peace and stability in the Middle East. I look forward to working with the Lebanese community living in the United States of America to ensure the safety and security of the great people of Lebanon. Vote Trump for peace. Okay, so here's a picture of Donald Trump running for president, and we'll see if he gets in. I mean, he's been talking a lot for months now that he would definitely end these wars in the Middle East, end the war with Ukraine and Russia. So he definitely is somebody that's trying to push for peace. And obviously, considering that he's running for president, it makes sense that he would be coming out saying this in regards to the Middle Eastern wars, as maybe he's trying to target the Arab communities in the United States to vote for him as well. So we'll have to see what happens if he gets in. I think we could definitely see some major changes with these wars, and they could potentially be winding down very quickly if he gets in. But again, let me know what you think down below. Do you think it'd be better if we had Donald Trump as president to end these wars, or do you think Kamala Harris would be able to end these wars? And which president do you think would prolong these wars? As obviously, we eventually do need some peace, and hopefully peace sooner than later. Okay, moving on to another update from the Times of Israel. Trump told Netanyahu he wants Gaza war over by the time he enters office, according to sources. Okay, so looks like even Donald Trump telling Netanyahu he wants this war over by the time he becomes president. So we'll see if that happens as well. Moving on to Ozen Defender, the commanding officer of U.S. Central Command, General Michael E. Correa, arrived in the Middle East earlier today from CENTCOM headquarters in Tampa, Florida, with him set to travel during this week to Tel Aviv, where he will meet with the Israeli military officials. There they will discuss the defense of Israel and U.S. military assets in the region and further Iranian attacks, as well as the possibility of joint actions or strikes against Iran in case of escalation. Okay, so this is Michael Correa right here, the CENTCOM commander. This is an older picture of him meeting with Herzi Halevi. So it looks like he's going to be visiting Israel here very soon in Tel Aviv, and they're going to be discussing, probably some assessments of how the strikes were inside of Iran, and then also preparing for Iran to attack. And then also, as I've been telling you guys, looks like we may be seeing a response coming from Israel a second time against Iran very soon. So that could be also a major indication of that. That's why he's showing up, is they're preparing to attack Iran again. So we'll talk about that in a few posts here in just a minute. Also from the informant, Israel Defense Forces Chief of Staff Herzi Halevi to Iran. If they launch missiles at Israel, we will know how to reach Iran again using capabilities we have not yet employed. We will target places that were spared in the previous attack. Okay, so this is him right here. We're not going to watch this video because there's no English subtitles, and he's speaking Hebrew. So obviously we can't watch that. But this is what he stated in this video while he was speaking to Israeli Air Force officers, was letting them know that they can strike Iran if they need to and upgrade their capabilities and strike targets that maybe they didn't attack before. And I did show you guys a satellite image recently of there was like a fuel storage tank that was struck inside of Iran. Apparently it was an empty storage tank, and most likely a message being sent to Iran that they could target their oil and gas industry if they really wanted to. And maybe that's what Israel may do next. We may see them target something that they previously said they would not. Like maybe the nuclear facilities would probably be last, but maybe their oil and gas industry, or maybe some of their energy infrastructure sites, okay? So moving on now to Israel Katz. This is the Minister of Foreign Affairs from Israel. Naim Qassem, Secretary General of Hezbollah, the successor of the successor, promises to follow Nasrallah's path. We will make sure that happens soon. So him coming out, basically making another joke about Naim Qassem, This is an older video of him speaking like in a closet or something. I think he was being interviewed on some Arab media, and he was sweating a bunch as he was hiding in this closet. There was lots of memes coming out saying that he was hiding because of maybe airstrikes from Israel, so that's why he was hiding in this closet. But Yeah, so major statement coming out from Israel Katz, stating that they're going to try to target him and take him out. They probably will be able to find him at some point. Don't be surprised if they do. We've definitely seen a lot of that. So from the Global 202, breaking, Israel is planning another response to Iran following an assassination attempt on Prime Minister Netanyahu. Last night, the cabinet reviewed actions following Hezbollah's drone strike on Netanyahu's residence in Caesarea. Ministers were briefed that the recent Israeli operation in Iran did not address this specific incident, and a new response is forthcoming. Security officials and ministers have developed several potential actions with the decision expected shortly. Okay, so this was according to Channel 13 News out of Israel. This was the strike on Benjamin Netanyahu's home in the last week or so. We had a potential assassination strike, is what this looks like, trying to strike Benjamin Netanyahu's home with a drone. This is the damage from that drone that came from Hezbollah, and looks like we are going to see a second response coming from this, as Israel just in the last couple of days announced that they were going to strike Iran again for this attempted assassination attempt on Benjamin Netanyahu. Okay, so big news coming out from there. We'll see what Israel decides to do. I haven't heard much from that since that was being reported just the other day, but from also Times of Israel alerts, live update. Hezbollah chief, we struck Netanyahu's home. He survived this time, but may yet be killed. Okay, this was reported from Naim Qassem, the newly appointed Secretary General of Hezbollah. Apparently, he did a speech today as well in Lebanon, and this was something that he stated, that it looks like they may even try to target him again, as obviously Israel has been targeting lots of top commanders of Hezbollah. Probably even Naim Qassem will be targeted next. So that was a threat that he made to Benjamin Netanyahu today, that they may eventually try to take him out. Okay, so lots of huge updates coming out from the Middle East. And just wanted to get you caught up to speed on what's happening over here with some of these wars. And we'll see what's going to happen with Israel and Hezbollah. Will they be able to obtain a ceasefire? Will Hezbollah even agree to it? We'll have to see what happens. And then also, we're waiting to see on whether Iran is going to respond soon to the recent retaliatory strike on their nation, and then also potentially a second attack coming from Israel onto Iran. So let me know what you think down below. That's going to be it for today's update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. With that, hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless, and we'll see you in the next one.